Now, let us start another topic in the electrochemistry, that is electro-voltaic cell or electro-galvanic cell. Now, in the first part, we have discussed that electricity is used or electrical energy is used to carry out chemical reaction. Now, we have to find out the chemical reaction which will give me. I have to take a zinc plate that is dipped in. I have to take zinc plate that is dipped in zinc solution. Say for example, I am taking this as metal zinc, whereas this solution we are taking as ZnSO4. That is zinc sulfate solution we are taking here. That means it is in form of Zn plus 2 and SO4 minus 2. In another compartment or another vessel, I am taking copper plate which is in contact with copper ion as copper sulfate solution, so Cu plus 2 and SO4 minus 2. So this is in contact with each other. Now externally I am connecting this with a key. Say I am connecting ammeter, some resistance and connecting over here. Internally I have to use a substance here. This substance is called as salt bridge. Now what is salt bridge? It is U-shaped tube. This way we can take shapes vary from requirement. Usually we are taking this as U-shaped tube. This is filled with a gel. You are aware of the substance that is called as gel. Paste-like substance is there, that is called as agar gel. So this is filled with substance that is agar gel, and saturated means no more salt is dissolved in that solution. So saturated solution of, usually we are taking KNO3. Usually we are taking saturated potassium nitrate, and this is plugged with glass wool. So this is plugged with glass wool. Now that is inverted over here. This will give good contact between two solutions. When I am using key, that closing the key, I am getting current in the circuit. That means some chemical reactions are carried out over here. These chemical reactions are responsible to generate electric current over here. That reaction now you have to find out. Now this is called as salt bridge. You can take down this structure diagram also, because this is very important. The functions of salt bridge we will able to understand afterwards when we are discussing about this. Now here I am having zinc. Now zinc can undergo oxidation at Zn plus 2 and 2 electrons are released. That means the zinc plate, the electrons are keeping back on zinc plate. Okay, and zinc ion is deposited in the solution. Solution is already having zinc plus ion. So few zinc plus ion, they can come to plate. They are accepting electrons and getting converted into metal. So this is forward reaction, this is backward reaction. The forward reaction is called as oxidation reaction, because zinc is initially having oxidation number 0. From 0 it is converted into plus 2. Whereas backward reaction is called as reduction reaction. Why backward reaction is called as reduction reaction? Because its oxidation number is plus 2. By accepting electron from plate, it is converted into oxidation number 0. So this is called as zinc is undergoing reduction. So here zinc is undergoing oxidation to give zinc plus 2, whereas zinc plus 2 is undergoing reduction to give Zn0. When rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction, we are calling that as equilibrium condition. the solution is like that in equilibrium condition. Now I am writing with respect to forward reaction. With respect to forward reaction, this is oxidation reaction. Now check out for backward reaction for this copper. So copper is also having same way, that copper is having initially charge 0, but when it enters in solution leaving behind electrons on plate, we are getting Cu plus 2 plus 2 electron. Suppose I am writing here the same thing, the forward reaction will be oxidation and backward reaction will be reduction. Now when we are connecting out two plates externally and internally by salt bridge, the thing is that okay, just remove salt bridge for a while, don't consider salt bridge first. So only we are connecting externally. Zinc plate is rich in electron, copper plate is also having some electron, but there is more potential of electrons on zinc plate rather than copper plate. As a result, electrons start flowing from here, zinc plate to copper plate. The flow of electron is electrical current. Electrons are carrying out energy, the kinetic energy. That flow of electrons is called as electrical current. So we are getting flow of electron over here. As a result, there is number of electrons more on the plate. The result is that copper ion will try to deposit on the plate. That means this reaction is taking place in reverse. So I have to write down this reaction in reverse way as Cu plus 2 plus 2 electrons, that will give Cu 0. That means copper is undergoing reduction. So what is the result of that? Copper ion will come on plate and get deposited as copper metal, whereas zinc ions will give more electron over here and get entered in the solution as forming Zn plus 2. But this will stop immediately. I am not getting current afterwards. The reason is that the simple thing that solution get charged. As ions are entering over here, this solution will get positive charge. As copper ions are deposited on copper plate, leaving back sulfate ion here, this solution will get minus charge, which is not allowed. Solution must be electrically neutral. When we are inserting out here salt bridge, it gives connectivity. The nitrate ions start coming over here. KNO3, what is filled here? KNO3 saturated solution. So nitrate ions are coming over here. In order that we are getting zinc nitrate formation. Whereas potassium ions are getting entered over here in order to get potassium sulfate. What is the result of that? Electrical neutrality of the solutions are maintained properly, which will result me the electrically neutral solution and ensures me continuous current flowing through the circuit. So as reaction proceeds, zinc plate will start dissolving. If I am continuing this reaction for longer time, I will find that weight of zinc is decreased over here. Zinc is entering in the solution forming more and more Zn plus 2. Whereas copper sulfate solution, you are aware this solution is blue in color. It will start fade out and weight of copper will start increase. So I have to write down here net reaction. While writing net reaction, I can write this way: zinc plus Cu plus 2 plus LHS, 2 electrons are there. Then on RHS, that is equal to zinc plus 2 plus Cu. Usually we are not writing this 0. We are writing in order to understand, but one should understand that Zn is there, that means what? Zn neutral plus 2 electrons. So I am just adding out LHS and RHS. 2 electrons, suppose I am taking this way, electron can get cancelled. So what is the net reaction? That Zn plus Cu plus 2, that will give me. Now I am removing electrons, so Zn plus 2 plus Cu. So this reaction is called as net cell reaction. As electrons are flowing through the circuit, we are calling this reaction as giving electrical current. Now obvious thing, we have to find out. Now this cell is called as Electro Galvanic cell, or this cell is called as also Electro-Voltaic cell, simply Voltaic cell. That means what? That cell gives me electrical current. The chemical reaction is used to give electrical energy, or chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. So this device used for that purpose is called as Electro-Voltaic. Now this cell will continue working as long as zinc plate will not dissolve completely, or entire copper sulfate is not converted into copper, or amount of potassium nitrate in salt bridge decreases considerably. Either of three things, or circuit is break open. So either of the thing, this cell will stop working. So I am giving three conditions. Number one, that zinc plate will dissolve completely in the solution. Number two, copper sulfate will converted completely into copper metal, or amount of KNO3 in the salt bridge decreases considerably. Keep in mind, we are using here saturated potassium nitrate solution, but we can consider that concentration of KNO3 will decrease continuously after prolonged use. And so these three conditions are there where this cell will stop working. So this cell is called as electro-voltaic cell, where oxidation and reduction reactions are taking place and we are getting net reaction. Now here this is electro-voltaic cell and we have to define cathode and anode. Always keep in mind that cathode should not have negative charge. We have some preconceptions, or whenever we are discussing about electrochemistry, we are discussing many times only electrolytic cell, and therefore we are having assumption that cathode is negatively charged. No, here keep in mind reduction reaction always cathode. Keep in mind central railway. What is the symbol of central railway? We are writing central railway as CR. So that symbol we can keep in mind cathode reduction. Or one song was there, OA. So we can keep in mind this way. Oxidation at anode. So keep in mind oxidation means anode, reduction means cathode. So in this reaction, always keep in mind that whenever reduction reaction is carried out, the reducing electrode is called as cathode, oxidizing electrode is called as anode. So here we can say no doubt negative charge is there on zinc, but zinc electrode is considered as anode. Why? Because oxidation takes place, therefore this is anode, and reduction reaction is carried out over here, so this is called as cathode. So this is difference between electrolytic cell and electrogalvanic cell. The terminals are reversed. This is negative terminal, this is positive terminal. Electrons are flowing from negative to positive. But we are saying that electricity is flowing from positive to negative. So this concept you have to keep in mind while discussing electro. Now, every time it is not possible for me to draw this type of diagram. Actually, person who is having very good drawing, he can draw again and again. But for scientists and person like me where drawing is poor, this is always not possible to draw each and everywhere diagram. So we are writing out cell in form of some representation. That this is left hand side electrode which is undergoing oxidation. So that electrode I should represent first. So in representation I have to write this way, zinc. Now zinc is in contact with Zn plus 2 ion. I am not concerned whether it is sulfate, whether it is chloride, nitrate, phosphate. No, I want only zinc ion. So in representation we are writing as Zn plus 2. Now this is connected with salt bridge. So I am drawing double line. This double line means I am using here salt bridge. Now I have to give concentration, that is in terms of A. A means activity. Concentration is given in terms of molar. Don't write down percentage or anything. So we have to consider here molar concentration. Then these zinc ions are connected in contact with copper sulfate. So copper ion, so I have to write down this is copper plus 2. I am not concerned whether this is copper nitrate, sulfate, chloride, bromide. No, only abundant copper ion must be there. And then copper ions are in contact with copper. So I am writing this. Here again I have to write down concentration. Initial concentration we can write down. Then when cell reaction proceeds, this concentration are going to change. Copper sulfate concentration decreases, whereas zinc sulfate or zinc nitrate